Hello, my name is Raven and I'm 37 years old. The most insane thing in my life happened a few months ago, and I decided I wanted to speak up about it here. Let me start this story by telling you a little more about myself. Both my parents had passed away when I was really young, and I had no other qualified relatives to take care of me. So I got tossed around in the foster system a lot. We stayed with a lot of families until I eventually turned 18 and started living on my own. I have no other siblings, and I'm pretty much my own family. I worked hard to keep myself afloat and put myself through college. I managed to get a good job, and I was finally able to live relatively comfortably. Everything was going well, and I was finally happy. And things only got better when I met my now ex-husband, Travis. I met Travis around 10 years ago through a dating app. I'll be honest and say that I wasn't initially interested in him. I was on various dating apps only because I was feeling lonely, and I never really expected it to go anywhere. Even after Travis and I matched, I only spoke to him out of boredom. I said yes to a date with him because I had nothing else to do on the day he asked me to go out with him. But all of that changed when I actually went out with Travis. He was such a gentleman. He knew just how to make me laugh and was also able to engage in intellectual banter with me. I was genuinely pleasantly surprised by him, and so that one date led to many other dates. Eventually we began to see each other officially. We dated for around a year before I asked Travis if there was any way for me to meet his family. I just figured that it was the natural next step in a good relationship. However, Travis told me that I wouldn't be able to do that. He never explained why I couldn't. I tried to let it go after that. Travis had gotten a little distant after I asked to meet his family, so I just never brought it up again. 2 years later, Travis asked me to marry him, which I enthusiastically said yes to. It was during the wedding planning that I began to think about how I never got to meet his family. My insecurities began to get the better of me, and I used to think that the reason he did not want me to meet his family was because I was not good enough for it. My thoughts only spiraled further, and they began to affect my everyday life. Finally, I decided to just ask Travis, point blank, why? Could I ask you something a little personal? Yeah, sure. What is it? Why is it that I haven't met any of your family? Well, I don't have one. You don't? I mean, my dad passed away around 10 years ago, and my mom... Oh my God, I'm really sorry about your dad. I hope your mom's all right. My mom's fine, I guess. You guess? Do you not speak with her anymore? I don't. Do you mind telling me why? You don't have to if you don't want. No. We're going to get married soon, and this is something that you should know. My mom and I got into a huge fight a few years ago. About what? Well, I don't remember, as it was quite a long while ago, but she kept meddling in my life, and I was tired of it. She believed that she always had a higher moral ground and kept criticizing everything I did. I got tired of it, and when I called her out, she called me a disgrace to the family, so... Oh no, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. It's all right. It was hard to deal with at first, but then I got used to it. Now I'm in a way better place, and I'm with someone who actually appreciates me. That I do. But do you think you'd maybe want to reconcile with her because it has been a good few years, and like you said, you're in a better place now? She must have also changed. Absolutely not. Only I know what kind of negativity she brought with her, and I don't want her to be a part of my big day. If she reaches out to you, just ignore it, okay? All right, honey, whatever you want. I'll do it as long as you're happy. I was obviously disappointed that Travis wanted nothing to do with his only family. Maybe it was because of my past, but it made me sad to see how he was willing to throw away his only family. I struggled to grapple with his answer, but thankfully, just a few days after that conversation, Travis had to go on a business trip. I took that time to come to terms with the fact that our wedding was not going to have any family, and that was probably how we were going to live for the rest of our lives. A few months later, we had a pretty small wedding ceremony with only our closest friends present. Over the next 2 years, both of us focused on our careers and spending time together. We did really well in our careers and got pretty good jobs. With the good money we earned, we traveled together to a lot of places. We had a lot of fun in those 2 years, and it was around the end of the second year that we began talking about having kids. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of having kids, keeping in mind my background. If something were to happen to me, there would be no one to take my child in. As for Travis's side, I knew nothing about his mother, so I didn't even know if she was capable of taking care of a child in case something happened. Travis, on the other hand, was adamant about having a child. It was apparently his big dream to have a child. We talked about it for months before I finally gave in. We decided that it would be smart for me to quit my job, and we started trying for a child. However, we encountered a lot of difficulty. We went a full year before I finally conceived our son. The birth of our son was truly the happiest moment of my life. Travis was an amazing father. He devoted all his time to taking care of our son and even did his share of the chores that didn't involve our son. I was living on cloud 9. I didn't think that my life would get that good, and I guess I was kind of true. When my son was 3 years old, I got a call from an unknown number. Hello? Hi, this is Pamela, Travis's mother. Oh, hello, how are you? It's so nice to hear from you. Oh, I'm good. When will you be getting here? I was supposed to come over? Well, Travis dropped your kid off here and I wanted to know when you'd come. When did Travis do that? Look, I don't know, but you need to come pick up your daughter. I have places to go to, and I cannot keep being your free babysitter. My daughter? I don't have a daughter. I only have a son. What? Wait, how did you even get my number? Well, Travis dropped his kid off here and gave me a note with a number on it. I called and you picked up. Why would he give you my number, and whose kid is he making you watch over? I would also like to know. How long have you been watching over this child? About 4 months or so. 4 months? And he never gave you any other number to contact during those months? Well, I never had to go out during his work hours. He seemed to be in a hurry, and he just gave me a paper which had a number on it to call if he didn't make it back in time today. Okay, well, I'm afraid I can't really come over and pick up the child because, well, for obvious reasons. But could you do me a favor and not mention anything to Travis? I want to talk to him about this myself. Of course, I won't mention a thing. I need answers for this myself. I was confused beyond belief. A part of me hoped desperately that it was just a spam call. But why would the caller know my husband's name? I tried to call Travis, but he never picked up the phone. I wanted my answers as fast as I could get them, but Travis never picked up the phone. With various household chores, because I knew that if I sat idle until Travis got back home, my mind would spiral into the worst-case scenarios, which would only make me feel worse. But eventually I had to sit myself down. I needed to compose myself for whatever the truth was. As I waited for Travis to come back, I began to wonder if Travis had been behaving weirdly. I remembered briefly how Travis had behaved a little differently right before our wedding, but I dismissed that. Then I remembered how Travis always seemed to have odd working hours, as in he would come home really late on random days of the week. But that couldn't have meant anything. Everything that I tried to mark as suspicious never seemed suspicious to me at that time. Finally, when Travis got home, I talked to him about his mother's call. So, your mother called me today. My mother? How'd she get your number? You gave it to her. I did? Yes, when you went to drop off your daughter. Oh. Do you mind explaining to me what the hell is going on here? I don't want to. Well, I want you to. I'm really tired, and I just want to sleep. Could you please just drop it for tonight? We'll talk about it tomorrow, okay? So you'd rather this eat me up than tell me what's going on? It's a huge thing. And I want us to be fully rested before I tell you anything. No, what you want is to avoid the topic altogether. Do you really think I'd be able to sleep after this? My mind is already spiraling through the worst of the worst case scenarios. I just need a few answers, Travis. Just give them to me. I'm afraid I can't do that so easily. Just believe me that it's a big thing, but I'm too tired to talk about it. If you don't tell me now, I will do my own digging and find things out for myself. I doubt you'll be able to find anything. Just go to sleep and we'll discuss this tomorrow. Good night. I was shaking with anger. So there was something that Travis refused to tell me about. He knew just how I felt about keeping secrets, and he still insisted on doing it because he was uncomfortable with sharing. I tried to prod him some more for answers, but he refused to give them to me. Instead, he went to sleep. That entire night I tossed and turned in bed. Every situation that hadn't seemed suspicious before now became suspicious. Even harmless things like Travis insisting on going grocery shopping made me think that it was just a way for him to cheat on me with someone. If that really was his kid that Pamela was watching, then when did he cheat on me? I remember finally falling asleep just as the sun was rising. I woke up about 2 hours later to my son asking for breakfast. As I got my son his breakfast, my mind began reeling with questions once again. I knew that Travis would not give me the answers I needed unless I approached him with something that would push him to tell me the truth. And there was only one person who knew something more than I did: Pamela. I plucked up the courage to call her and prayed that she answered the call. My heart raced, but I steadied myself because I knew that what I was doing was important for my son and me. Hello, Pamela. This is Raven here, the woman you called yesterday. Oh, yes. Hello, Raven. Did you happen to find out anything? Actually, no. I tried to confront Travis about it, but he shut it down really fast. Oh, my. Travis has always been one to avoid confrontation of any sort. Do you need me to talk to him about it? No, I'd much rather find out about it from him. But I was wondering if you could tell me why the both of you had a falling out all those years ago that led to both of you not talking for years. Not talking for years? We only didn't speak for a few months after that fight. Wait, so you've been in contact all this time? Yes, of course we have. Then why didn't Travis want you at our wedding? You had a wedding? Travis told me that he had eloped. What the hell? Something is really wrong here. Maybe this is why he never let me see you. What do you mean? Whenever I asked to meet you, he'd always come up with excuses for why I can't. Like you were busy with work or you went to visit family, and sometimes it was even that the both of you had a huge fight and weren't talking. We've never fought that big, ever. I can assure you of that much. Yeah, well, all those lies made me think that you weren't necessarily the best person, so I just stopped asking to meet you. Travis told me that you were always moral policing him, which was why he cut you out. And I never attempted to contact you because Travis told me he wanted nothing to do with you, considering all you ever did was bring negativity around wherever you went. Wow, that's hurtful. I'm so sorry. No, you had nothing to do with this. We just got too caught up in Travis's lies. Yes, but if you don't mind me circling back to my first question, what was your big fight about? Oh, I caught him cheating on his then girlfriend of 5 years. I was upset with him about it, and I told his girlfriend. That obviously led to the end of their relationship, and he lashed out at me for it. He claimed I was interfering with his life. Wow, that was not what I was expecting. Do you think he's cheating on me now? I have no idea, sweetie, but I wouldn't put it past him considering what he did before. All right, I'll get to the bottom of this. Hey, if you need any help whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. My doors will always be open to you and my grandson. Thank you so much. I couldn't believe anything that I had found out. My entire marriage, no, my entire relationship had been built on lies. Why had Travis felt the need to lie so much to me? Did I do something that made him do that? I couldn't wrap my head around why he went to so many lengths to lie, not only to me, but to his own mother. He painted both of us in a negative light to each other and ensured that we didn't like each other so we wouldn't communicate. I spent the entire day just ruminating over my newfound information. I went through his things to see if there were any traces of his lies that I may have overlooked, but I found nothing. The kid that Pamela was talking about was definitely his, considering he had been bringing her over for months. Who did he have another kid with? When did he have another kid? I couldn't recall a single moment that he had to actually cheat on me. The longer I sat with the new information, the angrier I got. How could Travis have put our son in such a position? He had another child, and now our son would have to go through his life knowing that his dad was a cheater. I knew for a fact that I didn't want to stay with Travis if he did cheat on me. I only had doubts about the child being a product of a love affair because I had gone on the internet to research other ways a child could be his. Turns out there are a lot of stories of people getting contacted by their biological kids who they had no idea of their existence at all because they had donated to a sperm bank. I hoped that was how this child came to be because that was the only thing allowing me to keep a cool head. When Travis got back home that evening, I confronted him again. I spoke to your mother again. Why are you doing this? I told her not to speak to you. Because I want my answers. Do you not trust me when I say that I will tell you in due time? No, because from how I see it, you've been avoiding me because you don't want to talk about it. That's not true. Is it as untrue as you lying to your mother about us eloping? How did you, or is it as untrue as you telling me that your mother was moral policing you when all she did was expose you cheating on your long-term girlfriend? Look, I can explain. You better do it quick because let me tell you, I'm getting sick and tired of these lies. Okay, fine. Remember when I had a business trip a few short months before we got married? Yes. Well, I ended up going to a pub with my colleagues after a big meeting and I met someone there. One thing led to another and a few months before we got married? Really? I know, I'm sorry. I felt really bad about it, I swear. But not bad enough to come clean to me about it. How could I? I would have lost you. And you think this won't make me leave? You didn't think that lying to me for so long was going to make me leave? I didn't ever expect you to find out. I made a stupid mistake when I handed my mom your phone number. You really are a disgusting person. Who even was that child? The woman I slept with ended up getting pregnant. I initially wanted nothing to do with the child, but after our struggles to have a child of our own, I went back to her and asked her if I could be a part of the child's life. Wow. That's so... wow. I have no words for you. I promise that I'm still being faithful to you. I'm only involved in the child's life, and I have nothing to do with the mother. The mother allows me 2 days a week, and when I'm at work, I ask my mom to babysit. I have nothing to say to you. I'm going to just go away for a little while. Please don't leave me. I promise to always be open and honest with you from now on. I can't trust that promise, and I can't trust you. You were dishonest with me in the worst way possible, and I want nothing to do with you from now on. You can't leave me. What about our son? I am leaving you, and I'm taking my son with me. You should have thought things through before lying to everyone in your life. Goodbye. I was crushed and angry. I couldn't believe that Travis had gotten married to me, knowing that he had cheated on me. I would never have married him if I knew. I love my son, but I never wanted him to be caught in the middle of something this big. There was only one thing I ever wanted for my future children, and that was for them to have 2 loving parents with them at all times. Travis knew about it and still went through with his lies. I had already packed my sons and my things and had them loaded up in the car. I took my son's hand and left the house. Travis was yelling for me to come back. He even came up to the car with tears rolling down his face, begging me to not leave him. I was done with him. I drove to Pamela's place because she opened her doors to me. I had talked to her once more before confronting Travis again, and she was more than happy to help me out. Pamela really helped me out during the whole process. She was there for me like a mother would be for her daughter. I spent many, many nights crying, and she was there to comfort me. I don't know how, but Travis figured that I was there and tried on multiple occasions to come over and talk to me, but Pamela made sure he didn't even get to enter the house. After that, Pamela helped me find a good divorce lawyer who also helped me fight for child custody. Travis contested the divorce because he wanted any excuse he could get to talk to me. I didn't let that happen, and instead asked my lawyer to communicate everything. Needless to say, Travis's case did not look so good in front of a judge. Not only did he have to pay me alimony, but he also had to pay child support. As for the custody of our child, he got 2 weekends a month. I'm not happy with it, but I also don't want my son completely cut off from his father. I will tell him the truth when he's older, and then he can make a decision for himself. Travis was devastated and tried to contact me through Pamela, but Pamela did not let him get through to me. Instead, she cut him off. Last I heard, Travis moved in with the mother of his other child. It's been a rough journey ever since I found out. I needed months of intensive therapy just to process my feelings about the whole ordeal. I'm finally at a point where I can talk about what happened, and I chose to share my story with all of you. Thank you so much for listening.